Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. I'm your host Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome everybody. Today I'm looking at the Hot Wheels The Batman Batmobile, released in 2022. This version of the Batmobile was first seen in The Batman, released in 2022. This is part of the 150 scale Hot Wheels brand, which is one of my favorites to collect. If you go all the way back to the beginning of my channel, you see a lot of Star Wars Titaniums and also Hot Wheels Batmobiles. So you could tell where my loyalties lie here. I love Batmobiles, the unique designs, the colors, the shapes, beautiful stuff. And this is another winner. Now, since my last Batmobile review, a lot of information has come out. Previously, we really didn't have a solid option to choose from on what this car is based off of. Now, in my last video, I said based on what I found off the internet, I gave a car name, and that isn't really correct. Instead, what I found is that the production team wanted to base their car off of a muscle car. So they looked through all the different types of muscle cars, and what they found is they want to get a chassis that's based on a late 1960s Dodge Charger. And instead of using a Charger chassis, what they did was totally made a custom car. And that's what we see before us, a custom muscle car. And I dig it. I love what they're going for here. To me, it looks great. And as I was doing my research, what I was reading was amazing. If you saw the Batman, you'll know what I'm talking about, but there are a ton of red LEDs on this and red lights, and also blue flames that erupt from the front of the vehicle, even though the engine's in the aft. And the interesting thing is, they wanted the Batmobile to strike fear into evil people, you know what I mean? So they were basing the car off of Christine, which is a Stephen King book and also one of my favorite films, which came out in 1983. If you're into horror and you love classic cars, check that out. And when I read that, I was like, this is amazing. You know, I never would have put the two together, but, you know, after seeing the film, I can see aspects of it. And in Christine, that was a 1958 red Plymouth Fury, which had 4 doors, I believe. So, complete night and day. But aspects, I definitely can see, especially with the sounds and this and that, with the engine roaring. Beautiful stuff there. So anyway, there's a lot to discuss, and I'm going to get right to the review. So, for the size of this particular piece, we're looking at a little under 4.5 inches, or a little over 10 centimeters in length. So it's a nice size 150 scale Batmobile, and when you see it compared to the rest later on, you'll see how wide and long it is compared to them. It's actually a bigger version here. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is go over the mold, show everybody at home what you're purchasing, then we'll look at the paint, compare it to some other pieces, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, let's take a look at the mold. Like in all my videos, we will go over all the major sections, and then we'll get a nice close-up look to see those fine details. So, it's a very practical car. There's no machine guns or super heavily armored areas. What you see is what you get. So in the front here, we have our hood. You can see it has some nice panel lines. Now this section here has some red stripes. In the film, these are LEDs, and then blue flames will come out the front right here, and on the sides right here and back of the tires. From my research and from looking at the film, that is purely for intimidation purposes, because the engine is in the back, complete with a thruster, which is right here above my thumb. So really interesting. So we have this whole area here with some reinforced bits, looking good. We have our windshield, which is reinforced and armored. We have our front section, which has a nice reinforced bumper, headlights, really nice. I love that. Come to the side, some nice areas. We have some tires. And I love the subtle angles here. Very nice. Now mine came out of the box with these little dings. What are you gonna do? And then right here we have a little step to get in. Now the door can open. This is a static model, so on this one it does not. But one that we will be looking at in the future, the doors do open. On the interior, we have some nice stuff, and we'll take a look at that later on. Same goes for this side. Looking cool. Now the back is a very interesting area. We have our main engine, our thruster in the back, tail lights, tons of support beams. So that looks pretty awesome. We have our exhaust pipes on the sides. And all in all, it looks fantastic. I love the detailing back here. Really nice. And you can see the tires. They are rubber and they look cool. Just look at that. Nice, right? Now on the bottom, we do have a couple of rivets. You can see 2 right here, third one in the center, and then 2 in the front. And everything is detailed down here, which is nice. I like that quite a bit. And of course, copyright crap everywhere, from little codes to the actual copyright stuff. And then we have Hot Wheels right here. All in all, pretty cool. And it's Batmobile, trademark. But a fascinating piece here, really cool. So now let's get a closer look. All right, having a closer look, we'll begin looking at the bottom of the craft. Then we'll move on to the engines, the main body, and finally the interior. So for the bottom, we have some nice detail in here, 2 rivets, and just look at the molding of the tires. Very nicely done. I love that. Pretty sick. Coming down, we have our copyright crap and more molding, which is great. Made in Vietnam. Coming down. Beautiful. I just love these round support pipes that they molded in here. And we're going to see a lot of that in the engine section, but amazing. And then we have our back. Another rivet, Hot Wheels in the center. And there we have our tires. Beautifully molded. I think those came out great. And they are rubber, if anybody's wondering. Then we have our 2 rivets back here. And some tail lights, which are molded. That's pretty awesome. And then you can see all these pipes back here. You know, they're basically the main chassis, the structure. And, you know, everything's there to reinforce the strength of this. And it looks amazing. I just love it. You can see the main car right here. The main body, I should say. And then where the actual outer shell is, it's covering that. So sort of like a go-kart for those who drive those and they put a shell on it. Something like that. Or if you make RC cars, you know, you build the main body and then you put your shell and painted exterior on top. It's something just like that. And I think the practical use of that is pretty awesome. You know, this could get shot up, dented. You just put another one on. So really cool thinking there. So back to the car, we have our engine section, which looks amazing. We have 4 exhaust pipes down here. So they look cool. They're black. They're a little hard to see, but each one is a little recessed where the opening should be. We have our main engine right here. Look at the paint and mold. We have gold, red, black, silver, flat black, glossy black. Tons of stuff going on here. But what I love is the detail. Little recesses. Everything's there that should be. And it looks amazing to me anyway. And then it goes into the interior of the car, which we're going to look at in a few. And you can see we have 2 nozzles that come out. And we have more exhaust, which are painted chrome. So a real nice touch. And looking around, you can see all these pipes. You know, all the support structure there. And it's all negative space. You know, you can see my finger through it. You can see through the interior of the car. Excellent. Really nicely done. And here's a top view. It's pretty sick. I love this. I think it's a great design. Pretty cool. And again, we'll look at the interior last. So for the main body, we have this beautiful flat curve coming down here. And slight angles with a couple rivets going here and there. Very dusty, I'm sorry about that. But it's like the black just, it's like a magnet to dust. But very cool, very detailed. And as you can tell, the tires look awesome. Really nice. And this one, same thing. Look at all those lug nuts. Oh, man. I'm going to pretend it's just armor and those are rivets, because, could you imagine changing a tire on here? Holy shamoly. And then right here we have our step, which is molded pretty nice. I think that came out great. Pretty awesome. Coming to the front. Looking sharp. We have our 2 headlights. Reinforced bumper section. Look at that. Really cool. You can see all the detail within that. That is sharp. Nice. Now on the other side, it's the same as the first side. No real differences whatsoever. The tires are the same. The detailing's the same. It's just opposite. You can see the nice door with a couple of rivets there. Looking good. We have our step and molded pretty well. And then moving on, we have the rest of our car. You can see some rivets here and some light angles. Coming up to my damaged area, which it came like that. And then this beautiful curve that sweeps up. We have our wheel well and our rear tire, which is nicely done. I just love the slight curves here, the angles. It's really sharp. We have our hood section, which looks pretty cool. We have a couple rivets going down, a couple latches, windshield wipers, everything's molded there. Just look at that, fantastic. And on the sides, on the left and right, it is recessed in. A little hard to see, but it is. And the molding is just beautiful. Nicely done. And we have our roof, which is nice and mirrored and beautifully done, nice and flat as well. So that does it for the exterior of the car. So now let's get a shot of that beautiful interior. Alright, getting a shot of the interior has been some sort of a hassle, and I think it's mainly because everything's black, but I'm gonna try to do the best I can. So first up, we have our 2 headrests and our seats, which, they look kind of cool. You can see them in there. Little bucket seats, really nifty. Then in back of those seats, we have a lot of components to our engine. You can see the chrome pieces. They turn into the exhaust pipes, which come out the back. So that's pretty cool. We have all these little pieces right here of the engine connecting to the main body. Pretty nice. If I turn the car, we can see it from this angle. Pretty nice, right? Lots of molding in there. Lots of little shapes. I think it looks kind of cool. Looking at it back here, it's hard to see even with all my lights on. But pretty interesting. Now over here we have our center console. Lots of controls in the center. And right here we just have our dashboard. I don't even think there's a glove compartment there for the passenger. Turn the car this way. And we have our center console. Looking good. This piece right here looks like a radio system, traffic, GPS, all that stuff. 2 little rivets on top holding it down. And right here we have our steering wheel. Looking sharp. And then in back of that, we have our area for our speedometer, fuel, and all that stuff. So pretty sick all in all. So that's everything I have to say about the mold. Now, I went over this thing with a fine-tooth comb, so if I left anything out, please let me know in the comments below. So now, let's take a look at the paint. And now looking at that paint for the Batman's Batmobile, this bad boy features 7 colors. We have a main color of glossy black, followed by silver, a little chrome, red, white and gold for the thruster, and a little matte black here and there. All in all, this is a nicely painted piece. I think my favorite area is definitely the engine. It has a lot going on back there. But, you know, I have to be honest, I think this would look 100 times better if certain parts had a wash on it, like that engine section. It would really bring out all those beautiful details that really don't have a chance to pop. Besides that little gripe though, I'm really happy with this piece. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So that does it for the mold and the paint. All in all, I'm very impressed with this piece. So now let's compare it to some other vehicles, and then we'll conclude the video. And now for a quick size comparison with the 150 scale of the Batman's Batmobile seen in the center. First, on the left-hand side, we have the 1/64 scale Hot Wheels The Batman's Batmobile, looking sharp. And finally, on the right-hand side, we have the Michael Keaton 1989 Batmobile, probably one of my favorite designs, if not my favorite Batmobile. I think I've been saying that for years. I love the Tim Burton Batman films. They may not be 100% accurate, comic book wise, but the designs, the art, and especially the Batmobile is amazing. If you grew up in the same time period as me, which is late 80s and then through the 90s, do you have a lot of love for Tim Burton's Batman or the animated series? Let me know in the comments below. And now for an added bonus size comparison with the Batman's Batmobile seen in the center, I have it with some other 150 scale Batmobiles. First, on the left hand side, we have when the Penguin took the Batmobile, and it's the Penguin Mobile. So that's pretty funny. It's got his umbrella and also one that's folded up like a cannon right here, and the actual symbol on the side is a penguin. It just made me laugh. And also it sort of goes with the Batman, if you know what I mean. So pretty nice, and you can see the size difference between these. Amazing stuff, right? And then finally on the left hand side, we have the Super Friends Batmobile, one that has been eluding me for almost half a decade, and I love this. Pretty sick, right? You know, one day we will get to review all of these. I love this stuff. But let me know, which one of these is your favorite? And for our final size comparison with the Batman's Batmobile seen on the left, on the right, we have the Batcycle. Now, we only see the Batcycle for a little bit. I'm not going to say any more than that. But, you know, I love the basic designs here. You know, we have that nice front piece, which sort of has like bat ears on it, which is cool, where the headlight is. And everything is bare minimum. And that goes for the car as well. There's no gadgets. There's no crazy stuff going on here. It's all very practical. And that's why I really like this Batman film as well. Like, yeah, there's technology here and there, which works out. But for the vehicles, what you see is what you get. And I think it's really cool like that. Now, I will be reviewing the Batcycle next, and to compare that with something, I do have the McFarlane Toys, you know, the 7-inch scale Batcycle. I love it that much, I went out and grabbed it, and also a Batman, so stay tuned for that in the future, but great stuff here. And that does it today for my in-depth review of the Hot Wheels 150 scale, the Batman Batmobile, released in 2022. Hands down, this thing is amazing. Probably one of my favorite versions of the Batmobile thus far. I loved it in the film, and if there is indeed a sequel, I wonder if this design will be built upon. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. But all in all, the detailing is amazing on here. From the tires to even the interior, all the way back to the engines. Everything is painstakingly detailed. Now, there is no moving parts, the doors don't open and stuff like that. However, the tires do spin and it does roll really well. Now for the paint, we have 7 colors working together. Now in the film, we really don't see the car that much. I would say the colors I remember from in the film are black and red for the most part. But here we have not only black and red, but we have silver, some gold and white. I love it. Even the chrome bits are amazingly done. Now, believe it or not, I thought mine was damaged out of the box, and if you can tell, it's gone. It's not there. Apparently, it was glue that was hardened on the outer shell of the car. Where it came from, I don't know. Maybe the packaging process, but I just took my thumbnail and my dust cloth and really pushed it, and it came off with, I would say, about 4 different strokes. So bam, 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 gone. So I'm really happy about that. If you're a collector and you keep these out of a glass case, prepare to constantly dust this thing. It attracts dust like I don't know what. But regardless, it is very impressive and a cool piece to add to your collection. And that's basically everything I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. And if you would like to see new videos every week, subscribe. Again, to all of you out there, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my content. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody!